Okay, so tacos de Jamaica. If you have seen this before, let me know where. So this is the flor de Jamaica. I'm gonna just get set up. I'm using a big Cutco pan for this one, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this on medium heat, just below medium. For those, you don't really ever want to use anything above a low to medium heat. That's really it. You don't ever need like a hot heat. It's a high heat is going to mess up the pan. So we're gonna go with what we're doing first, and I'm gonna get some white onion started. So if you watched before, the tacos de Jamaica I've never done publicly. But I've been a very public fan of agua de Jamaica. And so the agua de Jamaica is a great drink for lots of reasons. Number one, it's delicious. Number two, there's like so many health benefits. And so the only thing is, when you make the agua de Jamaica, it's an infused tea. You're using the flor de Jamaica, the dried hibiscus flowers. Sorrel is another term. There's lots of different names for the hibiscus flower. But when you're done, you have trash, you have waste. So we're trying to do zero waste things. One of the things that you can do when I was introduced to agua de Jamaica in Mexico, when I was introduced to it in Guanajuato, I was lucky enough to have the person introducing it to me say, you can use these. You can actually cook with them. You can put them, it's another fiber, lots of nutrients. And anyway, and so I was like, wow, that's amazing. So got into making agua de Jamaica and tried to cook with it 2 years ago. Not a lot of success. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So just to be clear, I've got this on this medium heat just to update what I'm actually doing right now, the play-by-play. I'm doing like 1.5 white onions, chopping these up just like a medium chop. I mean, you can do them just sliced. You could do whatever you want. This is a choose your own adventure as usual. But I'm using like 1.5 onions. This is the chef's knife. Straight edge. So in the pan, again, you don't have to use a lot of heat. You also don't have to use a lot of fat. But I am going to put a little bit of fat in. And this is going to be just some extra virgin olive oil. Like I said, you don't need a lot. This can function like almost like a nonstick. So I'm going to put the onion in here. Let this start cooking. I'm going to turn up the heat just slightly so it's at a true medium because I didn't have that with this low medium business. I'm going to turn it up to a true medium. Move those onions around, and then just a quick dash of curl salt. So these will start to cook, and then I'm going to cut the mushrooms. And so for the mushrooms, I mean, you could use whatever vegetables you want. It doesn't really matter. But I'm using mushrooms. I'm using baby bellas. So for these, again, you could clean them as much as you want to, but I usually just end up wiping them down like this. And then I remove the stem. Stem goes into my broth bag. Oh yeah, we'll redo that again. So if you have the capability, your broth bag. So this is staying in the freezer. And I have my mushroom scraps, my onion scraps, carrot scraps, all the skins. There you go. All of that. So the stems are going to go in there, and then I'm just going to wipe these down and keep the caps right here and then slice these up. So you can use a wet rag, a wet paper towel. I honestly just like to use my hands because then I feel like I can actually get all of it, and use my nails to dig in there, and then periodically I clean my hands. I do usually keep a damp paper towel, something like that, damp towel nearby. But again, this is all I'm doing for these. Some people like wash them. I mean, people do all sorts of things to their food, so who am I to judge? But just gonna add these in and get this onion working. Okay, so rubbing these off, and then you can see on the forefront. So I've got this hibiscus flower. Okay, so we go back to the hibiscus flower. So Irapuato, Mexico. Irapuato, Guanajuato, Mexico. Cuando ellos me... Yeah, I'm not going to do Spanish tonight. Okay, so when they were introducing me, when I got introduced to agua de jamaica, and they were... she was telling me that you use the flowers. You can use the flowers for tacos. You can use them for whatever. This is actually, I might end up doing burritos tonight. It's not technically tacos, I guess, but like it's the same stuff. It's filling. So when I did it, the mistake that I made 2 years ago, my issue with it was not the actual jamaica. There was like a grittiness to it. And granted, what I did was I made quiche. It was like some sort of quiche-ish thing, right? And I did, my other experimentation with the flor de jamaica. And so it was gritty. There was gritty. And I don't know. It's not a pleasant mouthfeel. So did not recommend, did not do again. Well, this time I was looking at my recipes and I was seeing that things were saying that when you do it, you should really be rinsing and washing and making sure that you like super duper uber wash the mica. And so I paid attention to that, which I learned my lesson after the jalapenos. That usually if a recipe is saying to do something, there just might be a reason. And some things you can do whatever you want, but also you might get a gritty quiche that does not taste good. So again, just doing some baby portobello slices here. I'm gonna throw those in just a second. I can hear the onions moving and cooking now. We're just experimenting using this medium heat and not going super high. And almost there. Okay, so didn't do it. Watch recipes this time. So there are recipes for like a vegan hibiscus birria, tacos de jamaica. This is my version, my option. And I also think the last time I made this, I only did a bit because I wasn't really sure if it was even going to be good or not. And so, I don't know, it's kind of weird if you like make a whole big bunch and it's not good. So I didn't do that the first time, but then it was good. Then we ate it really fast. So I said this time I'm going to make a lot. And that pan is already full. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just get a second pan working. I'm going to save my second pan just in case I needed it. I think I need it. I think we're there already. Baby portobello mushrooms. And now I'm going to move like half of it to the other pan. We'll let that get warm just a bit. Again, just doing the medium heat. I'm going to do some more oil in there. We'll do the Creole salt, that good stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the jamaica. I also saved my mango skins, if you saw. I saved those mango skins from last night. So I wanted to try something like that. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to set those to the side. So if you can see this. It looks amazing, no? It's like, Let me see if I can get a different one that you can really see. Vamos a ver. La cosa es que they're all different. That's the thing. They're all different. Okay, so if you get one that's whole, I mean, you can kind of even see. You can see the flower. It's a flower. And then if you open it, yeah, and it almost has this texture, like squid, where it has some pushback, like seaweed. I think that's the stuff when it's really good. Like it's good for your insides, I believe. This is all great fiber for your digestion. I mean, this is amazing stuff. So they kind of have these, like you could almost like tear it, is what I was doing, right? And there's like the underlayer, right? So on this is a great example. You can see this. There's the underlayer, and then there's the shorter outer layer. And so you could just, and maybe I will. Actually, let's do that. Let's try that. I want to pull it. The reason I want to pull it is because it's, when I was chopping it, it doesn't chop that easily. You need like scissors, or you need to lay it out maybe. Because if you chop it one way, oh, that's good. No, it's maybe just my knife needed to be sharpened too. Anyway, you could pull it and it would be really pretty. You'd get like these absolute like meat flower petals, meatless flower petals. They're so pretty. I know those tendrils. It's like tendrils. They're just gorgeous. So I'm going to chop this up though real fast. I have this oil here. I'm going to move half of this stuff over just so it has a chance to actually like cook. Should be. That's a good sound, right? Those are good sounds with the cooking ASMR. Okay. Get these moved over. Both of those, some more space to work with. Those onions are definitely cooking down. Beautiful. Just a little bit more salt, Creole salt and pepper. Put some extra flavor. Both of those. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to this jamaica. So pretty. So you're just going to chop this up. And I guess you could leave it like big pieces. I chopped it. I don't even remember what the recipe is. I saw that you can let me know what you try. If you hand pull it. So good though. Okay, so when you're done with this, we're just going to add all the spices to it, and you can. It's a blank canvas, right? You can really make it any way you want. So, however you would do your meat, I think of like a quesadilla. Like a birria would be like that, like the barbacoa. Como carnitas, hago como así. So the last time I made this, I used like onion powder, garlic powder, cumin. I don't even remember. Anyway, just whatever you want to use. And then if you want to, and what I did last time is I did cheat a little bit. And instead of like making my own enchilada sauce, I used some canned enchilada sauce. And that made it super easy to do. And it was so good. So good. It was gone. And I was supposed to have made more of this already, and Everett's been asking why I haven't. So we're doing it now. All right. So we've got this. I'm going to trade these out so you can see again this jamaica, these flowers. So tonight I was thinking I've got just some, last time I used some very spicy muy picante enchilada sauce, and it was honestly, it was a little bit much for me. I'm not gonna lie. And so I'm excited to try it when it's with a, if you can see that. Again, just using the Cutco chef's knife. Infomercial. This is sponsored by Cutco. If you need Cutco, let me know. Health coaching. There's other stuff. I have services. You can look at the website. Whatever you need. Anyway. Okay. So this is coming together so nicely. So this jamaica, I'm excited to try it a little bit more mild, where I'm not thinking about how hot it is, and I'm just thinking about how delicious it is, because it was honestly so hot. It was a little bit distracting, and that for me is difficult. Okay. So now that the onions and mushrooms, this is where I wanted those to cook a bit. Again, just using a medium heat. So if you're using a high heat with these, they will scorch and burn. If you're like spraying oil instead of using real fat, they can also have some issues. But other than that, they're cooking up so nicely. And again, saving the energy by cooking at that lower heat and being able to use less fat, no fat. It is they almost function like a nonstick, right? That's the beauty of it when you use them appropriately and correctly. Especially with this one, this is the right thing. Okay, so the onions, mushrooms are sauteing down because I want those flavors. I mean, that's what's going to flavor the hibiscus, right? Well, and then we'll put the spices and stuff, and those will obviously provide a lot of flavor. But this is the onions mushroom situation is what helps it along, shall we say. Okay, back to business. So give that a little stir on both of those. Bring that up. Gonna move this jamaica almost all chopped up, and then once this gets added, it's going to go so fast. I'm just going to add some more spices, open up a can of mild enchilada sauce, and call it a day. Again, you can use this idea of hibiscus instead of flor de jamaica or hibiscus flower or sorrel or whatever you call it where you are. Has so many names. That once you make the amazing tea, you can also use this to make amazing food. And it's so good. It's so good. Kind of like rind. I was thinking like similarly to rind, it is very much like a blank slate. You can make it taste like whatever you want to make it taste like with your seasonings. Your seasonings are what are going to give it all the flavor. Okay. Last batch. Flor de jamaica. Also, I hope you like the reels. I hope that you enjoy them. I hope that they bring you peace, joy, love, something. I hope that you get what you need. And yeah, to do a photo dump and a whole bunch of reels. Photo dump. God, this is a good little workout. And I still contend that I chopped that 7 times and it still would have been better if I had just pulled it apart because these really are, they're like very non-placid, very turpid. I don't know what the right term is for what this is, but it's almost, yeah, like a seaweed squid. It's not tough, but it's doesn't go down without a fight. We'll put it that way. It's got some pushback in there. It's got some definite pushback. Okay, so we are ready. This is perfect timing and real life timing of trying this experiment. Recipe. Okay, so I'm gonna do this and this. All this mic is gonna go in, and then we'll do the seasoning. Let it cook for just a couple more moments, and then I'll add in the canned chili sauce. Show you the enchilada sauce. So I'm just putting this evenly between the two. I'm gonna give that a good stir in both. I'm gonna add some more salt. And then the rest of the seasonings now too. If I can keep it in the pan. All right, there we go. And these should not be burning. If they do start to like brown, I was doing this the other day. You can like add some water and get that sort of deglazed, or add something to get that deglazed, and it should come up very easily. Again, if you're staying on the low to medium, you really shouldn't be getting to burning anyway, if that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna see here. So the second batch, I'm just smelling this, and I did this purposefully, and so I'm excited to see how it turns out. The second batch of jamaica flowers, I had a couple of batches of jamaica flowers saved up from the agua de jamaica. One of the batches I did with cinnamon and rose leaves, and so that batch, I knew that the jamaica leaves would be a little bit flavored with the cinnamon. And I was like, I'm okay with that. I want to try that and see how that adds. And you can almost smell the cinnamon. And I want to say damn near the rose. Oh, it smells so good. But it like gives, it's not going to be sweet, but it's going to give those leaves just a little bit of a depth of flavor. Because I took them out before I like added the sweetener in. But it might have a little bit of a cinnamony undertone on some of these to the sauce. Okay. So I'm just gonna give you see close up. Ooh, so nice. Yum. Might get rain somewhere in the background too. Nice. It's real life. Okay. So that's going to cook right there. Now we're just going to season them up. So I'm keeping this so I won't have anything burnt, and that's really nice. I like this, actually. This is amazing. More seasoning. Okay. So garlic powder with parsley, obviously. Check, check, check. Generously. Oh, I should do more Creole salt. Also going to add in just a little bit of the pink Himalayan sea salt, just so I have that, and I haven't just done the Creole salt. And more onion powder. I'm just going to stop with this. We're just going to start with this and go with this, and then do the sauce. Keep it so easy. You could keep going, but like. Mentirosa, ¿no? Solamente mentirosa. I'm lying. I was lying. Okay, I have some just, no big deal. Just whole Mexican oregano. The best. So this is going to have like all the, like you can't really shake it like that because it has like all these leaves. See that? Beautiful. All right. You can see the full video on YouTube. I'm going to cut off on the Facebook. The rest of it will just be on YouTube. Real Radical Revolutionary. Please like, share, follow, subscribe, whatever you'd like to do. Reach out by email, schedule a time to chat. Initial consultations are always complimentary. If you feel called, let me know. I'm going to show, we'll start with the rubbing of the oregano, just on the ear too. See anybody? Okay, so YouTube exclusive rubbing oregano, rubbing whole Mexican oregano. So funny. Okay. Yeah. So you pull some of those twigs out, and then you just want to rub it between your hands. And I could have been prepared with mortar pestle, but whatever. That's how I do that. All right, so this, yeah, already cooking down very nicely, and I'm actually going to turn it down even more. It was at a medium, and I'm going to turn it to a medium low. Yeah, very cool. This is going to be, yep, same idea. I'm going to add a little bit more oil to each of these, and then, actually I lied. I'm just going to go straight to sauce. These are ready. So I'm going to turn both of these down. And we're just doing salsa de chile colorado. Sí me parece que sí. Sí me parece que sí. And I'm going to put this between the two hands. Make it sound. More sounds. Here we go. Not as dramatic. Okay. So this is going to help deglaze. This is going to help pull the stuff up from the bottom. And then it's just going to simmer down into the sauce. Just a little bit of that. Actually, okay. So now, YouTube exclusive, I'm going to completely do something. So, one of our favorite quesadillas, gorditas de la capital. Chicharrón con papas. So it's like the baby's favorite. So, chicharrón, they would you just put chicharrón in salsa roja, algo como así, una salsa. And when you put it in, it gets soggy. And it's so good. And it's soggy chicharrón in quesadilla. And then papas, potatoes, right? So just simple potatoes. And yeah. Muy bien, muy sabroso. Y estos están bien listos. So yeah, so you can see this is just completely going to cook down and simmer right there on that low, medium, low heat. Got that oregano. Just very simple though, not a lot of fuss, but a ton of flavor. And yeah, I'm using a canned enchilada sauce to make it easier. This will be ready, and then this can go in anything you want. I've got refried beans to go with it already, and some lettuce. I'm going to do some room leaf lettuce, and queso y crema y yeah, todo bien listo. Okay, so this one is also cacao if you're into that. You need that, let me know. Please have a great night. Thanks for joining me, and we'll catch up soon. Love yourself, revolution. Love yourself, revolution.